is looking to come up with something like this. We have this idea of a coordinated care pathway for managing cerebral palsy and other childhood disabilities in this country. The child with cerebral palsy is there in the middle. You start off with community workers and immunization authorities. These are the people who see these children regularly. Like I said, most parents will be in denial. They don't want to. It takes somebody else to tell you, look, this child, there is an issue. You need to take the child to a doctor. Pediatricians will have better knowledge. And then if they can take that child to the next level, maybe a neurologist or some specialist to do tests, then you would know exactly where it is. And then you determine a multidisciplinary care team that will help manage the child. Because you need physiotherapists, you need dentists, you need occupational therapists, you need kinds of people to help to get to manage this complex situation. Then the next thing is it's expensive. The average family can afford it. That's where government comes in to help financially with medication and all kinds of other things. Children that they need assistive technology to help them grow. And then the community, when we educate the community instead of being a problem, becomes a source to give support in whatever way for the family and also to help spread the knowledge, which now comes back to everybody. So if we can get a model like this going in Nigeria, I can tell you that we're on a long way to solving the problems of childhood disability and all that. So, but in the short term, what BENOLA is doing is we are building capacity. We've built our own capacity. We've organized a lot of workshops and conferences. You see, because we're not doctors, forget the fact that I'm not a doctor. I do most of the talk. There's a need to convince those in the medical profession that we know what we're talking about and we're out to help and not make fun of them or delude them. We also need to get the confidence of those in the area of special needs education. So we've been interacting with them, and believe me, most of those we've met are highly appreciative and supportive of what we're doing. And from the knowledge of that, that's when we've written this program, which we intend to use as a tool to further our advocacy. We intend to provide information to the public, and we're doing that. We have a vibrant website. You need to please look at it and see what we have there. And we're updating it regularly. And the last update was yesterday. As we get information and as we get about it, we build up the website. Because our aim is to make it the most vibrant website in Africa on cerebral palsy. Already, we have people from outside Africa who are visiting our website and who are commending us on the work that we're doing. We're organizing conferences, and we're also attending conferences international to build more international connections and capacity in this area. We intend to interact, and we have been interacting with people in relevant fields, whether it is autism, Down syndrome, any other childhood disability, because, you see, the main thing we're pushing for is an intervention. And up till 2 years or so, most people are not even sure what the problem is. You just know that child has a problem. So we all need to work together to get this thing done. And then, like I said, we will continue to engage in high-level advocacy. Our long-term goal is to build a center, a series of centers for cerebral palsy. And these are centers where we hope to put in what we have seen abroad as to the requirements for managing children with cerebral palsy. For instance, we're looking at a building, we're looking for a workshop where we can fabricate equipment, we're looking for a playground where we put special needs playground, equipment where children with disabilities can come out and play, and as a showcase. We are working already. We're working on the design, and we're on one way to perfecting it, but we're constantly working. Each of the centers, we believe that Nigeria is big. We have 6 geographical zones. So at the end of the day, we must have a center like this in at least each of the 6 geographical zones. We intend to start with Lagos, and of course, Abuja is important. So Abuja is in the park. So each one will have a cancer and referral unit. They'll have field therapy units. it will have occupational therapies, welfare departments. A lot of these families need soft foods, medication and stuff which they can afford. And then most important, the special needs equipment unit. You see, when the children are under 16, there is nowhere you can buy a wheelchair off the shelf. The chairs have to be fitted to the child. Special measurements, curvatures of the body. If there's a need for a mold, then the mold is built. So, unless you train people on how to do that, we can't even order these things from abroad. And if we get the right connections, we can begin to do that right here much better. I wish some of you will visit some of our hospitals. I won't mention names. Our orthopedic hospital. You will weep when you see the archaic equipment that they're still using to fabricate things for the disabled. We intend to do a lot of training ourselves, building capacity for those in the healthcare profession and otherwise. So we'll also have some halls, different types of halls, administrative units, and relevant offices to carry that. The main thing, like I said, that we have done here, which we're here for, is to present this document, which, believe me, is the basis of a policy paper for managing cerebral palsy in Nigeria. I'm passionate about all disabilities, and it took my chairman and a few people to get us to concentrate on cerebral palsy. Because you see, all childhood disabilities start the same way. And the management, especially at the initial stages, the first 2 years, is the same. The earlier you accept it, the better the results you're going to get with the child. Because up to the age of 5, the brain is still developing, in some cases up to the age of 8. It's not as if the brain is going to get better in the case of cerebral palsy, but the other part of the brain that is functioning is going to train itself to do those things that the part that you're using cannot do. But once you leave the child idle, running around looking for help until the child is 6, 7, 8, you've missed out on that. So we need to work on the mind of parents to accept the reality that the child is disabled. We need to sell the idea of early intervention to everybody. So roadmap is there to do that. We also have discovered, we received a lot of support from the media. The media have been fantastic, and I commend them for it. But we also find that there is a need to also do a certain level of advocacy by ourselves. And so we've started a magazine which we call the Cerebral Palsy Eye. It's duly registered, and the second edition just came out last weekend, and each person will get a copy of it here. We're still in the stages of being proper publishers, so forgive us if one or two things are not right there. But it's going to be designed to be a document that will continue to update people on modern trends in managing cerebral palsy and even other childhood disabilities. So there's so many things that we have in mind, and we're overwhelmed, but we're working. And we want to thank each and every one of you that is here, and even those who are not here who have continued to encourage us by phone calls, by emails, and whatever, because we're drawing strength from you. And we also want to tell you that what we're doing is not unique. It is possible for everybody who has a passion. We're all Nigerians. We complain about this country. We believe that government should do everything. Having been in government and having seen our share of government, we know that government cannot do everything. But we, as individuals, having been trained, having gone through all the phases, having benefited from government to go out and see how things are done, we are passionate about certain things. Some things are just obvious. I think if we put our heads